Welcome everyone to today's video. Today I'll be diving into 3 free AI tools that can revolutionize your study habits and communication skills. So get ready to learn, grow, and achieve more. Now without further ado, let's get started with NotebookLM by Google Labs. Welcome to NotebookLM, an AI-powered note-taking and research assistant. Now this tool is being developed by Google Labs, and a bit of housekeeping. This tool basically uses Gemini to interact with your documents. What makes it special is it takes your provided documents and generates summaries, explanations, questions and answers, and by far the best feature is the ability to create podcast-style audio tracks. With that out of the way, what you're seeing now is the default dashboard. From here, you can see the provided notebook called Introduction to NotebookLM. If this is your first time using Notebook, then this is going to be the only thing that you will see here. So let's check out the example, then we can go ahead and create our own. Right from the start, there's a lot to see. On the left-hand side, you can see this sources list. Now, these sources are documents that Notebook uses to generate your study material. These can be media files, Markdown, PDF, research documents, whatever you have on hand. You have the ability to add up to 50 sources, but if you don't have 50, then one works just fine. Just keep in mind that the more sources you add, the more Notebook can use to create materials for you. Here at the bottom, we have the chat area. In this chat area, you can ask questions and Notebook will use the provided sources to give you answers. So you can tailor your studying to whatever matters to you. Now, this is great, but keep in mind that AI can make mistakes and it is best practice to double check the answers that you are given. Moving on, let's check out the Notebook guide. Now from here, you can choose what mode of studying works best for you, whether that be questions and answers, study guide, and a couple other things. Now these buttons are grayed out, but they won't be for the notebook that you create yourself. Even though those buttons are grayed out, we still have access to the podcast feature underneath the audio overview. This feature takes all of the sources you provided and creates a podcast discussion between 2 AI bots. Now the length of the audio depends on the amount of sources and the complexity of the topic. But for my personal use, the most I've ever been able to get is about 15 minutes of audio. Now the notebook has some audio ready to go, so let's give it a quick listen. And no, I'm not going to play the entire 9-minute track, just a quick 10 to 15 second sample.
It's somewhere around 500,000 words per source.
Wow.
So yeah, like a whole digital library if you wanted.
So you basically create your own searchable database.
Yeah, but it's more than that.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting.
As you can tell from that brief snippet, this is a total game changer. Even if you aren't a fan of the audio overview, this tool appeals to a wide variety of people, and it fits many learning styles from hands-on Q&A to listening to the materials like a podcast. Now that's enough of the example. Let's go ahead and create our own notebook. I'll go back to the dashboard and I'll create new. For this video, I'm going to drop in a single source. It's going to be a 14-page PDF on the ketogenic diet. And just like that, it's ready to use. This has all the same features as the example, except all the buttons that were grayed out previously are now able to be used. Now, we already touched on a lot of what's already offered, so I won't be going over that again. The main thing I will be touching on is going to be the podcasts. So one of the main differences between the example and the one that we create is we have the ability to customize the podcasts. You can tell Notebook what you want the focus for the podcast to be, rather than just using the default. You also have the option to share and download the audio for later use if you like. The last thing that I'll mention is if you already have a Google account, which at this point, who doesn't have one, then you already have access to NotebookLM. So give it a shot the next time you want to mix up your studying. Now that you have your study materials down, Let's get you ready for your next job interview. So let's dive into the next tool, KaidenAI. Before we dive into what KaidenAI is and how to use it, I have to mention the pricing plan. KaidenAI is free, but only to a point. When you sign up for this tool, you start a free trial. You get 10 minutes worth of use, then you have to pay for it. As of this recording, there's only one other plan, and it's $5 a month. I say this now so you don't blow your 10 minutes without knowing it. With that out of the way, KaidenAI is a tool for training and skill development using voice-enabled simulations. This is meant for professionals across many domains and experience levels, from entry to senior. This tool offers personalized and immersive training scenarios that adapt to the user. These scenarios can be job interviews, crisis management, and you can even create your own custom scenarios for your particular use case. The real benefit of this tool is to improve your communication skills and to just make you a bit more comfortable in stressful situations. Now, with the sales pitch out of the way, let's dive into the UI and how to use this tool. What you're seeing right now is the dashboard. It's pretty simple, and I believe it's better for it. Less fluff is never a bad thing in my opinion. So, right off the bat, KaidenAI provides us with some example scenarios. We have job interview, sales outreach, and investor prep. For this video, we're going to perform a job interview. From this screen, you can craft a scenario, the gender of the interviewer, your experience level, the tone, the industry. You get the idea. For this example, I'm going to set myself up as a fresh-faced kid out of school trying to get into the tech industry. I enter in the scenario and I begin the call by clicking the call icon. Quick note, you will need to have your microphone connected in order to use this. For this entry, let me demonstrate KaidenAI in action. So sit back and listen to me struggle in my interview. Don't worry, I'll only play about 20 to 30 seconds worth just to give you an idea. Keep an eye on the transcript because it'll matter later on when you want to review the interaction.
That sounds like a valuable experience. Working in a team and handling both the user interface and database setup shows a good range of skills. Could you explain a bit more about the project itself? What was its purpose, and what technologies did you use alongside Python?
I actually don't have a response for this.
That's okay, no worries. Let's shift gears a bit. Can you tell me about a challenge you faced during the project and how you overcame it? Maybe something related to the user interface or database setup?
Yes. So one of the issues with the database is now that the call's finished, an evaluation starts, and you basically get graded for how you perform. The AI breaks down each section of your discussion and critiques you. Personally, interviews always make me nervous, so I think it's very doubtful that I'm going to be getting a call back from this company. But from this brief showcase, you can really see the potential here. There's nothing worse than applying for jobs, waiting weeks for an interview just to blow it because you were nervous or just rusty about the interview process. This tool aims to get you ready and to give you more confidence so you can ace the interview. One of the ways that it gets you ready is you have the option to save your conversation if you wanted to listen back and pretty much just evaluate yourself. I hope this tool helps to get rid of some of those interview jitters, and definitely be sure to comment if it helps get you a job. I mean, you'd love to hear it. Next up is a quick one to finish off. So, you have your study materials, you have your communication skills locked down. Now let's get you equipped with tooling to fit whatever project you were planning on working on. And the tool that's coming up is TinyWow. Compared to the other items shown today, TinyWow isn't as flashy as the rest, but that's fine because it doesn't have to be. For those of you who haven't heard about this site, let me give you a quick rundown. TinyWow is a free online tool that allows you to convert, edit, and create various file types. It's basically a collection of tools that you would normally be paying for. This tool sets itself apart by being truly free, full stop. Now this is compared to most tools on the market that draw people in with the offer of free, just to turn around and ask you to create an account, sign up for a trial, get a subscription, or just hides features behind a paywall. Tiny is truly free from start to finish with no account creation, no trials, no gotchas. The only real downside are the ads, but that's the price for free. I won't be going into full detail on every single feature available on the site because the video would end up being 3 times as long, so I'll just go over some of the basics. And I will leave a link in the description so you can check it out. And the same is true for the other items on this list. For the best explanation, I'll break this up into the 5 sections on the top of the screen: PDF, image, write, video, and file. So let's get started. In PDF, you process your documents using tools like Edit PDF, Split, exporting from one file format to another, electronic signing, and a lot more. If you've ever used basic Adobe, then you already know that these features that I've listed would require some form of license. That ultimately leads you to hunting down free options online because you have no intentions of spending money on a single use case. Next up, image. If you have done any work on image generation, then you'll find the most value here, as you can find tools that remove watermarks, image upscaling, removing people from photos, and AI image generation. Now, with this being free, don't expect the greatest results when it comes down to image generation. Like, you can definitely do it if you want, but you're better off spending a little bit of money if it's something that you want to get serious about. On this channel, I do have videos showing off some AI art generators, so be sure to check those out if you're curious about what to use. And be sure to subscribe because there's going to be a lot more coming in the future. Next up, we have the Write tab. In here, you'll find things for script writers, AI detectors for plagiarism, and post writers for social media. The wild thing is that we are only on the 3rd tab, and there is already over $500 worth of subscriptions here if you were to pick a couple. Crazy. The next 2 tabs are going to be quick ones, so let's quickly go through them because at this point, I think I've already gotten the point across that there's a lot of value here. So for video, you can find social media downloaders for all platforms, so you can download your videos, watch them offline, and you can even trim those same videos here on this site if you want to trim out, like any sponsorships that you just find annoying. And to wrap up, we have the File tab. Now, the File tab provides you with tools that allows you to manipulate files like splitting up CSVs and converting data files to different formats like XML to JSON, just as an example. Now, that's the quickest rundown I could give on this tool without going into every single thing offered. To conclude, I will say that TinyWow does accept donations to keep things running. If you find this site useful, then definitely consider giving them a couple of dollars because at the end of the day, it's still cheaper than most subscriptions. Now, at long last, that's a wrap for this video. I hope you found these tools useful, and be sure to let everyone know down in the comments if you end up using any. If you like this video, hit like, and be sure to subscribe for more videos. I'll catch you in the next one.